Hi, team. A couple more quick things that I thought about as I was rounding up that last tutorial that I feel are important enough to add here. So after you get into GridCheck, which, do I have to type this in? Okay, fine. Type it in. Sorry, 1 second. It shouldn't show my password as I come in. I decided I don't do a very good job of talking and typing at the same time. So I apologize. Okay, let's see if I can get in. All right, so one thing I wanted to add here is that when we go add a job, I had talked to you briefly about, for example, hiring out for a reoccurring class. That's really important to add right here. So we're going to add a single date if it's just for one time that we're going to need the interpreter. If we're going to need the interpreter for the whole semester, for example, that's more what I was referring to about having a huge responsibility to make sure that all of those classes we're following up with the instructor and seeing if there's any classes he's canceling, letting us know what time he's getting out each time, because say it's a 3-hour class and they're getting out for those 2 hours, then we need to be hiring out the interpreters for 2 hours as opposed to having the 3 hours, which has happened before. So yeah, so that's what I felt was really important that I missed, and that's right here. You're going to add a pattern date if it's going to be for the whole semester, for example, then you'll come over here and put that down. I also wanted to note right here on the confidential notes for the coordinator, this is also a really good place if the student has a really good rapport with a specific interpreter from network interpreting services that they've been using. If there's somebody that they just really prefer, then you can put down their name here. That's why it's confidential. So you could say, hey, this student really prefers this interpreter if they're available. If not, they prefer this interpreter, for example, or please don't send this interpreter. We've noticed that they are a helper, for example, and we need to make sure that we're following the code of ethics or something like that. So you can put that down there. And then also one more thing I wanted to add, just as a note for you that hopefully might help, is when we are doing the hiring out, say there's an overlapping class. So you need 2 interpreters in Ada and you need 2 interpreters in Nampa. Try to make it to where one person from CWI is going to each of those locations. So I would, for example, go to CWI and I would be working, or excuse me, to Ada campus, and I'd be working with the NIS interpreter. Holly would be staying here in Nampa and working with an NIS interpreter. So just make sure that you kind of align all of that up when you are planning to divide and conquer. And part of the reason that we do that is just for that exact same reason. Again, if we're in the class, we know when the class is ending, we know when we're going to be out of the class. For example, the teacher might say during class, hey guys, just so you know, I'm not going to be here such and such date. And so then we can come into GridCheck here and we can let them know that we won't be needing an interpreter for that date. And that way they don't charge us for that date. Otherwise we get charged for the whole semester regardless. So just keep that in mind. A couple of things that I wanted to mention here. So hopefully I didn't bore you to death. Thanks for watching, and I'll get on to the next tutorial. I'm really hoping that these are helpful.